Mansuk was everyone's favorite neighbor. He presented himself as a humble, hard-working milkman, pedaling a rusty, broken-down bicycle from door to door. He earned the community's trust through sheer reliability. He was relentlessly punctual and charged significantly less than the commercial dairies in the nearby city. But that bicycle was a carefully maintained prop. Mansuk used it as theatrical cover to deflect suspicion regarding his true wealth. Inside his private dairy shed, the baseline for his scam was revealed. He was cutting the fresh milk with a mixture of water and cheap arrowroot powder. This diagram shows the mechanics of his fraud. By replacing half of the pure milk with an arrowroot slurry, Mansuk doubled his product volume with zero overhead, pocketing the difference as pure profit. Mansuk was no community servant. He was a predator with a taste for unearned profit, setting the stage for an even larger appetite. The escalation began at a local food stall. Repairing his bicycle, Mansuk met two men looking to move a very specific type of contraband. They offered him a chemical shortcut to guaranteed sales. For 1,000 rupees a packet, they sold him a mysterious powder designed to make his milk physically addictive. He hesitated for only a second. The prospect of a captive customer base quickly overrode any lingering moral hesitation. The distributors gave him a strict, non-negotiable instruction. The powder was potent. He had to mix exactly 1 packet per large milk can. The results were immediate. Within a week, village demand skyrocketed as the population unknowingly developed a chemical dependence on his product. This chart tracks his shifting business economics. He moved from a standard commodity to a market of inelastic demand, customers buying out of necessity. This surge in illicit profit accelerated his arrogance. He now managed a high-stakes narcotics operation, treating neighbors as his supply chain. By switching to narcotics, Mansuk removed his own safety net. Future disruptions to his route would result in immediate, public catastrophe rather than a simple loss of daily income. That disruption arrived in the form of Manoj, a city policeman visiting his aunt, one of Mansuk's prime customers. When Manoj saw the officer at the kitchen table, his composure shattered. He dropped his metal jug, spilling the evidence across the ground. Terrified of an investigation, he implemented a desperate defensive strategy. He faked a severe illness, completely halting his delivery route to hide the drugged milk. This decision trapped him. He spent the following days inside his home, consumed by the fear of law enforcement knocking at his door. He sat in a darkened room, surrounded by piles of cash he was too terrified to use. His wealth peaked exactly as his fear made him a prisoner in his own house. A criminal facade is brittle. The mere presence of a single police officer was enough to dismantle Mansuk's entire operation from the inside out. Eventually, Mansuk spotted Manoj walking toward the train station with his luggage. To him, the threat had passed. The moment the policeman was gone, Mansuk's greed overrode his caution. He rushed back to his dairy shed to restart production and recoup his lost profits. He grew increasingly irritable and arrogant, aggressively shouting down his wife, Meena, when she tried to speak with him. Because Mansuk had kept Meena in the dark out of spite, she tried to be helpful by pre-mixing the day's ingredients while he rested. This diagram shows the concentration of the final batch. Unaware of the strict potency warnings, Meena dumped 5 packets of the narcotic into a single vat, turning a scam into a lethal dose. Manoj's train was cancelled, sending him right back to his aunt's house just as the new toxic batch was delivered. Manoj took 1 sip of the fresh milk. He instantly recognized the bitter, chemical presence of heavy narcotics. The officer connected the drugged milk to Mansuk's suspicious recovery that same morning, leading to an immediate arrest. The village watched as their humble neighbor was dragged to the police station, his facade finally stripped away. Mansuk's downfall was a closed-loop system of his own creation. His greed demanded escalation, his arrogance created a fatal domestic blind spot, and the truth eventually poisoned his own well.